to my channel. Today we are going to talk about the architecture guide to AI coding agents. Today we are going to talk about the Codex versus Claude Code versus Gemini CLI versus OpenHands. The architecture guide to AI coding agents. Today we are going to break down like one of the hottest topic in the AI development right now is AI coding agents. We are comparing four major names, OpenAI Codex, Claude Code, Gemini CLI, and OpenHands. But this video is not just about which one write code faster. This is the basic question. The real question is which AI coding agent like actually fits your workflow, because every developer does not work the same way. Like some people work inside GitHub, some people live inside the terminal, some people want open sources tools, and some people like want full software agents that can plan, edit, test, and execute tasks. So in this video, like I will explain this tool like an architecture, not just from the hype, but the workflow and like the environment and the reuse cases. So like here we can see like the wrong question versus the real question. Most people ask the wrong question. They ask which AI writes code faster, but speed is not the only one small part of the story. The better question is which agent fits your workflow, because an agent, AI coding agent, is not just a text generator. It can help with writing code, debugging, pull request, reviewing changes, and understanding a code base, and sometimes even running commands or test. So we are comparing this four tools across the real developer workflow: coding, debugging, pull request, terminal work, cloud execution, and full software agent task. This is how we get user answer. So let's talk about the chatbot assistant agent. Like to understand this clearly, let's separate three levels. Step one is chatbot. Like the chatbot gives you code, you ask a question, it replies with an answer, useful but limited. Step two is an assistant. An assistant can like auto complete code, suggestion function, explain errors, and help you faster inside your development environment. But step three is is where the thing like gets serious: the AI coding agent. And an agent can read files, understand the project, edit code, run commands, test changes, and sometimes like create pull request. That means the role of the developer is changing. Instead of like only writing every single line of code, the developer starts managing the agent, reviewing the output, and making architecture level decision. This is a huge shift. So let's talk about the senior engineer workflow. This is the future developer workflow. Like first, the human gives the input, and here's the task: like fix the bug and build this feature, refactor this module, and then the AI agent work in the middle. This is execute command like edit files, test, and the code, check errors, and update the project. After that, the human reviews and approves the output. So the human is not removed from the process. The human becomes more like a senior engineer, architect, or reviewer. This is important because AI coding agents are powerful, but they still need direction. A weak prompt gives weak output. A clear task, good context, and proper review can turn these tools into serious productivity machines. So where does this agent live? Now let's reframe the comparison. These agents are not all living in the same environment. At the local terminal layer, like we have tools like Claude Code and Gemini CLI. This are closer to your machine, your command line, and your local developer workflow. At the cloud GitHub layer, we have like OpenAI Codex. This is more like connected to the cloud task, pull request, review, and repository level work. At the platform and infrastructure layer, we have OpenHands. This is more like an open source software agent platform where you can build, test, and experiment with the AI agent workflows. So instead of asking which one is best, we should ask where does this agent live and what kind of work is designed for. Let's make the comparison much better and smarter. So let's talk about the Claude Code by Anthropic. Let's start with the Claude Code. Claude Code is Anthropic like terminal based on AI coding agent. Its main strength is deep code based understanding, and this is the useful when you are inside a real project and you want to like understand files, explain code, refactor logic, and help you make change from the terminal. And it is feels like more like a pair programmer sitting inside your code line. Claude Code is strong for people like who want to work deeply with existing code bases. For example, like refactoring, debugging, understanding complex functions, and making careful updates. So if your workflow is local, technical and the code is heavy, Claude Code can be a strong choice. So let's talk about Gemini CLI by Google now. Let's talk about the Google terminal based on AI agent. It is the biggest strength is that this is open source and connected with the Google's AI ecosystem. It also support MCP integration, which means it can connect with tools and systems more flexibly. Gemini CLI is useful for developers who want an AI assistant directly inside from the terminal, especially if they are exploring open source workflows. It can help with bug fixes and feature building, test coverage, and command line automation. For beginner, Gemini CLI can also be the interesting because it gives a practical way to experience how the agent works inside a developer environment. So the Gemini is a good choice if you want an open source terminal agent with the strong ecosystem potential. And under the hood, like the reason and the act loop, we can see like now let's understand like how this agent think and act. Most coding agent like follow a reason and act loop. Like first the user gives a prompt and for example fix this bug, and then the agent reason it analyze and the current state, read context, and decides what needs to happen next. And it uses tools, it may access files, run terminal commands, and interact with APIs and use MCP servers. Then it acts, it write or edit code. This loop transform an LLM from a static text generator into a active participant in your system. This is why coding agent feel different from normal chatbots. They do not like just answer, they can take action. So we can see like the OpenAI Codex like from the ChatGPT. So from the OpenAI Codex, like now let's talk about like more focus on the cloud and the repository level coding workflows. Its main strength is cloud coding agent work, and it can read, edit, and run code in the cloud environment itself. It can work with the GitHub pull request, review your code, and answer questions about the code base, and help with repo level tasks. This makes Codex strong from for teams or developers and who care about the pull request. So if your workflow is like GitHub heavy, Codex become very useful. You can think of Codex as an AI agent that is closer to the software delivery pipeline, and like knows not just writing the code and locally, but helping with the task that moves through a repository. And OpenHands, now let's talk about the OpenHands, which is, yeah, you can see like in the different form of the other, because like open platform and infrastructure, because it is just not one coding assistant, it is like more like an open source software agent platform. Its a main strength is agent infrastructure. It allows people to experiment with software, with the software engineering agents that can plan, write, execute, and test code. So this is especially useful for the researchers, developers, and builders who want to understand like how the AI software agent work under the hood. And it also like build and studying agent workflows. So if you are interested in the future of AI developers, open source automation, or building your own AI software agent system, and like OpenHands is like worth exploring. So let's talk about the architecture. So the architecture's diagnosis metric. Now let's compare everything. Like an architecture, OpenAI Codex is best for the clouds and GitHub workflows. It superpower is to pull like request and repo level task. Claude Code is best for the deep coders, work locally, and its superpower is refactoring and deep code based context. Gemini CLI is the best for the beginners and experimenters who want the open source terminal workflows, and its superpower is MCP and reason and act behavior. OpenHand is the best for the researchers and builders. Its superpower is like the open source agent infrastructure, so there is no single winner. The winner depends on your operating environment. And if you live in GitHub, Codex makes sense. If you live in Terminal, Claude Code or Gemini CLI makes sense. If you want to build or research agents, OpenHands makes sense. So let's talk about the deployment decision tree. Here's the simple like decision tree. You can see here, like if you are a beginner and want an open source terminal workflow, start with Gemini CLI. If you want like to deep like project refactoring from your command line or Claude Code, it is a strong opinion. If you want like to automate GitHub pull request and Claude task, OpenAI Codex is the better fit. And if you want to research or build your own autonomous software agents, OpenHands is the tool to study, and this is the practical answer. Do not choose based on only on a hype. Choose based on your workflow. This is how you avoid wasting time and actually getting the value from these tools. So let's talk about the final verdict, which is, so here's the final verdict. The future is not just coding with AI, and the future is managing AI agents that code with you. And this is a very important mindset shift. Developers will not only be judged by how fast they type code, and they will judged by the how clearly they can define tasks, review outputs, design and systems, and guide AI agents. So which one should you use? Use Codex if your work in is GitHub and cloud heavy. Use Claude Code if you want to deep local code base help, and use Gemini CLI if you want to open source terminal agent, and OpenHands understand like for the build AI software agents. And this is the real battle. Not which agent is the loudest. The real winner is the agent that fits your workflow. This was like the today's episode of my 7 p.m. everyday series. If you want more on AI, I'm launching the AI agent knowledge series, explaining of trending AI agent projects, AI tools, and more. Subscribe to the channel, and if you will like, I will see you in the next one. Thank you.
This is Abhishek Yadav signing off from Curio Mind Show. Stay curious. Until next time, keep observing, keep interacting, and keep discovering. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching.